Fans of Marvel movies might think that Thanos is the ultimate power in the universe, but the truth is, the Mad Titan doesn't even rank in the top 10 most powerful Marvel villains. From a dark mirror of the greatest mind on Earth to creatures from beyond the multiverse, these are some of the most dangerous threats Marvel heroes have ever faced. Thanos may have taken out half of the universe, but compared to villains who destroyed all of creation, he's just a rookie. So strap in and prepare yourself, because today we're bringing you our top 10 strongest Marvel villains. Weighing in at number 10 is Onslaught, the dark side of Professor X and Magneto unleashed. Onslaught was a sentient psionic entity born from the consciousness of two of the most powerful mutants on Earth, Professor Charles Xavier, leader of the X-Men, and the villainous Magneto. Onslaught represents all of the pain and anger of Xavier's accumulated experiences, amplified by Magneto's hatred and lust for power. Onslaught began to take root inside of Xavier when he psychically attacked Magneto after the villain nearly killed Wolverine by ripping the adamantium from his skeleton. Professor X used his telepathic abilities to wipe Magneto's consciousness and place him into a catatonic state. As he burrowed into his rival's mind, Magneto's grief and anger amplified every negative thought and feeling that Xavier had ever tried to suppress. Amplified by pure hatred, Onslaught possessed all of the powers of Professor X and Magneto, which allowed him to combine Xavier's incredible psychic power with Magneto's control over the electromagnetic spectrum. He was also able to absorb other mutants and obtain their abilities. After absorbing Franklin Richards and the powerful psychic Nate Gray, two Omega-level mutants, Onslaught was capable of just about anything, even creating a second sun to kill his enemies. Onslaught drew the attention of the combined might of Marvel's heroes, including the Avengers, when he kidnapped Franklin Richards, the son of Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman. To slow the heroes down, Onslaught unleashed an electromagnetic pulse that destroyed all technology in New York City. This caused planes to crash and triggered explosions throughout the city. It even decimated the Avengers and the Fantastic Four's technology, including Iron Man's armor and the andro hero, the Vision. After his physical form was destroyed, Onslaught became a being of pure mental energy. Defeating the formless being required the combined efforts of every non-mutant hero, who all absorbed a piece of Onslaught. This effectively vaporized all of Earth's mightiest heroes at once. Onslaught may have had the potential to change reality completely, but he was destroyed before he had a chance to use it. The same can't be said for those villains who topped this list, who managed to destroy the entire multiverse. Before we get to those reality-destroying bad guys, be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on to never miss an upload, and smash that like button for more plot armor videos like this one. Conquering from the negative zone is the insectoid who's known as the living death that walks, Annihilus. The Fantastic Four first encountered Annihilus early in their careers on a trip to the antimatter dimension called the Negative Zone. There, Annihilus ruled over a horde of insect-like minions through the power of the Cosmic Control Rod, a device that can manipulate cosmic energy, which also grants its wielder immortality. Perhaps Annihilus's greatest strength is his sheer lust for violence and death. Annihilus talks big game, but his obsession with death comes from his own fear of it. When he first encountered the Fantastic Four, he was determined to kill them, admitting that only by killing everything could he ensure the safety of his prized Cosmic Control Rod. All of the violence he unleashed was only to keep the rod out of others' hands. Didn't anyone ever teach him that sharing is caring? Unfortunately, Mr. Fantastic planned to use the Control Rod's power to help heal a mysterious ailment impacting the Invisible Woman's pregnancy. But bad news for the universe, because his lousy first impression started an obsession for Annihilus. Even though the Fantastic Four gave his rod back when they were finished, the damage was done. Now that he knew more realities existed, he needed all of them to die too. It's taking pettiness to a whole new level. Years later, Annihilus proved his deadly potential when he assembled a nearly unstoppable horde called the Annihilation Wave that broke out of the Negative Zone. On its first day of invasion, the Annihilation Wave slaughtered millions of worlds. Annihilus even managed to destroy the entire Nova Corps, a cosmic superpower police force. The Annihilation Wave was only stopped by the combined power of Galactus, the Silver Surfer, the last remaining Nova, Drax the Destroyer, Star-Lord, and a united army of freedom fighters. The war finally ended when Nova ripped the insectoid conqueror's spine right out of his mouth. As they would say in Mortal Kombat, fatality. Annihilus is able to go toe-to-toe with superheroes like Nova or The Thing. He wields the Cosmic Control Rod, which in addition to giving immortality, can shoot energy blasts and control matter. When he wore the powerful weapons known as the quantum bands, his strength was amplified to Thor-like levels. But what makes Annihilus truly frightening is his single-minded devotion to death and the mindless hordes at his command. And while obliterating millions of worlds is terrible enough, Annihilus is still an amateur compared to the frightening god of the symbiotes who has been working to bring an end to all of creation since the dawn of time. So, let's keep going. Slamming the gavel at number 8 is Mangog, the Judgment of Gods. Mangog is a ferocious monster with one mission: to destroy the gods. Mangog was created as the sum total hatred of a race of invaders that were slaughtered by Odin and the Asgardians. It is the fury of billions made flesh. The creature was locked away deep beneath Asgard for centuries until it was unleashed from its prison. Mangog went on to rampage throughout the realm of Asgard, besting giants, tearing down the walls of the kingdom, and smashing through the mighty army of gods. Even after the armies of Asgard toppled a mountain upon the beast, Mangog continued his march. In their first battle, the mighty Thor could not even harm the creature. Mangog just shrugged off the attacks and threw the thunder god around like a ragdoll. It was not until Odin awoke that Mangog was stopped. Odin revealed that it was he who had created the beast as a living prison. By undoing his spell, Odin revived the race that had been imprisoned, splitting Mangog back up into the billions that formed it and ending the threat. Mangog was reborn years later when the original Odin's son was no longer worthy to wield Mjolnir and Jane Foster had taken his place. Mangog laid waste to the kingdom of gods. With Odin's son unworthy and Jane Foster dying of cancer, there was no Thor to stop it. Ultimately, Jane took up the hammer once again, willing to give her life to save the gods. Knowing this transformation would be her last no matter what, Jane gave the battle her all and sacrificed her life to put an end to Mangog by chaining the beast to Mjolnir and tossing them both into the sun. Mangog's strength is basically unlimited. As the collective hate of billions, the Mangog possessed all of the combined power of its race. Driven by pure hatred, Mangog is virtually invulnerable. So mighty was his strength that he could quell a storm with the power of his voice and swallow Thor's lightning and spit it back at him. Mangog seems to grow stronger the more it fights, and was only ever defeated by the nearly omnipotent or a Thor possessing his power or through great sacrifice. Unlike the gods and demons we're looking at next, Mangog has no fancy abilities, no reality control or magic spells or lasers. He's just strong and unstoppable, and it was nearly enough to kill Thor on multiple occasions. Mangog plays a major role in Jane Foster's journey as Thor, and with that run being adapted in the next Thor film, there's a chance that we might see Mangog rampage on the big screen soon. Ascending into divinity at number 7 is Korvac, the man who would be God. Michael Korvac was first introduced as a computer technician from the 30th century who betrayed humanity when the alien race known as the Badoon invaded. He joined their forces, and sometime later they grafted his torso to a floating computer panel. Korvac awoke to discover his transformation and killed the scientists who performed the operation on him. He was then transported through time by the Cosmic Elder, the Grandmaster, an ancient being who loved contests of all kinds. Korvac used his cybernetic body's ability to copy energies to scan the Grandmaster's powers. This allowed him to teleport through time and space. These early Korvac appearances are bizarre, and his floating cube body is hardly intimidating. Korvac wouldn't become interesting until he appeared in a classic Avengers story. Korvac arrived in the present day and encountered Galactus' world-devouring spaceship. He tried to download the ship's data and knowledge into his own mind, but in doing so, he was imbued with the power cosmic and granted godlike powers. He would use that power to regain his human form once again, but the sudden rush of power gave him a bit of an ego. He now believed that it was his job to bring order to a chaotic universe under his rule. When the Avengers ambushed him, Korvac went on to kill all of the heroes who dared attack him as if they were nothing. Korvac was weakened in the battle, though, which caused his wife Karina to doubt his powers and plans. Distraught and betrayed, Korvac committed suicide through the sheer force of will. In his final act, he revived the slain heroes just as the psychic Avenger Moondragon observed that his ultimate goal was to help mankind. After the Badoon race turned Korvac into a cyborg, he was able to use his computerized body to analyze and adapt any energy he scanned. Once he copied the Grandmaster's powers, he could teleport through time and space, and scanning Galactus's technology raised him to a nearly divine level of power. This gave him the ability to project and control incredible levels of energy. Korvac's powers were so great that the Collector, a nearly omnipotent elder of the universe, told the Avengers that Korvac had the potential to end all of reality, right before Korvac zapped him out of existence from a world away. Korvac had the unlimited potential of a god, but was ultimately defeated by his own human fear of losing his love. The next villain on our list has no such emotions, simply a mission to kill everything and bring darkness. Reigning at number 6 from the void that existed before the known universe is the primordial god of the symbiotes, Null. Now this baddie might be the creepiest creature in our villainous countdown. Null was born in the void between the end of one reality and the birth of another. When the Celestials brought light and life to the cosmos, Null was ripped from the void. In revenge, he formed the darkness into a blade and beheaded one of the Celestials with one mighty blow. The remaining Celestials banished Null into the darkness, where he grew in power and hate. Alone in the shadows, he used the Celestial Skull as a forge and folded its power into a deadly blade he dubbed All Black the Necrosword. With this enchanted blade, he roamed the cosmos, extinguishing all life he encountered. His reign of terror lasted eons until one day he fell in battle and the Necrosword was lost. There it was taken by a being who would become known as Gore the God Butcher, who carried on Null's legacy of death. As Null recovered from the loss, he learned that he could create life from the darkness. Thus was born the symbiote race, a parasitic species that would one day spawn Spider-Man's nemesis Venom. Eventually, one of Null's creatures, the Grendel, came to Earth. There it did battle with Thor, and when he used his magic lightning, the pain of this attack traveled through the Grendel and into Null himself. The lightning forcefully separated Null from his hive, scattering the symbiotes and stranding those that had spread throughout the galaxy. As the symbiotes bonded with races across creation, they became infected with ideas of morality and turned on Null. They buried him deep in the center of a massive horde that became their homeworld, Clintar, where he was imprisoned for countless years. Null's power was on full display in the series King in Black, which told the story of his attempt to destroy Earth after the mad symbiote Carnage freed him. Null's primary strength is his ability to control darkness to create weapons and living beings. He has such vast control of dark that he could even cut off the entire planet Earth from the sun by wrapping it in a massive wave of symbiotes. He is able to project his consciousness into any of these spawn and control them from across the universe. The symbiotes range in power and form, with the weakest being like Venom, super strong by human standards. These symbiote creatures have a mind of their own and can develop personalities separate from Null, though Null's control is so great that it can make even the most docile ones turn rabid. When Null is possessing one of his own spawn, their features change, forming a red spiral where their eyes would normally be. Null's symbiote dragons were probably his favorite way of causing destruction. They are massive beasts that could decimate cosmic empires and slay armies. The only things that have ever been shown to do Null of significant harm were Thor's lightning, the force of Silver Surfer's power cosmic, and Venom when he briefly held the Unipower, the ancient light of creation itself. Null is not likely to show up in the MCU, but Sony's Venom movies seem to have taken inspiration from the Venom series that introduced him and explained the origin of the symbiotes. So there's a possibility he might show up in Sony's Spider-Verse. With his ties to Gore, the main villain of the upcoming movie Thor: Love and Thunder, there may be some references to Null to keep an eye out for. Emerging from the void at number 5 is Chaos King, the primordial darkness. Long ago, Amatsu Mikaboshi, the Chaos King, existed in the formless dark void that was the Earth. Mikaboshi ruled over the dark alone until life sprang forth. This angered the dark god, who waged war against the deities responsible for defiling his kingdom. He was trapped away for centuries in the underworld, where he gathered his strength and recruited an army of demons. During the Chaos War, Mikaboshi broke free and went on to enslave Pantheon throughout the cosmos. In the process, he killed immensely powerful beings, including the Impossible Man, an annoying little imp who can control matter, and the Demon Nightmare. This time, Mikaboshi even managed to overthrow the Olympian gods and bend them to his will. With their combined power, the Chaos King was able to defeat the combined forces of Thor, the Silver Surfer, Hercules, and Galactus. Mikaboshi's dark magic allowed him to perform horrific feats such as using the corpses of gods as a vessel to carry his armies, which bursted out from their chest. Talk about gross. Fully unleashed, the Chaos King was able to step across realities in the various realms of the gods without effort, laying waste to the pantheons in the process. His power grew to a point that he had absorbed the very essence of the universe. Mikaboshi could shapeshift and control his form, turning his limbs into blades and creating copies of himself. He is able to possess other beings and use the bodies of the dead as a vessel for himself and his demon hordes. At his strongest, he was a threat to all of reality itself. The Chaos King might be one tough demon, but his capacity for cruelty doesn't quite measure up to the next demon on our list, who relishes in manipulation and trickery. Keep those tinfoiled hats on tight as we bring you number 4, Mephisto, Lord of Hell. Mephisto is one of the most cunning villains in the Marvel Universe, preferring to use his wits and trickery to torture the people of Earth. But that doesn't mean he isn't powerful enough in his own right. An ancient demon who has plagued mankind for centuries, Mephisto's true origins are unknown. He may or may not be the real devil, but he's perfectly happy to let people believe it. Mephisto's main goal is to populate his kingdom by enslaving the deceased souls of humans and torturing them. Mephisto's favorite pastime is making deals with mortals. Notably, he helped Spider-Man and Mary Jane undo their marriage as a part of a deal to bring Spider-Man's Aunt May back to life. Mephisto prefers using his charm and intelligence to appear weaker than he really is in order to lure villains and heroes alike into a false sense of security. He has manipulated villains like the Green Goblin and Thanos in order to forward his own evil plots. This trickery has led many people making very foolish deals, Mephisto's favorite way of causing trouble. He is able to use his demonic powers to alter reality itself. To undo Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson's marriage, Mephisto actually merged the Prime Marvel universe with another reality similar to the original, except for one detail about their wedding. The Scarlet Witch once siphoned off a part of Mephisto's reality warping powers to create her twin children, though they were eventually erased from existence when Mephisto reabsorbed them. This definitely never made Scarlet Witch break down and try to rewrite history and all of reality so that she could have a perfect family again, did it? Mephisto has total control of lesser demons and the ability to bond them with human hosts. He's even responsible for creating Ghost Rider by bonding Johnny Blaze with the demon Zarathos and could strip the Rider of his powers just like he was blowing out a birthday candle. Mephisto's powers only seem limited by what he would consider amusing, making his brand of terror somehow less frightening than the cold and calculating villains who destroyed the entire multiverse. Despite all the fan theories out there, Mephisto hasn't appeared in the MCU yet, but as the films dive deeper into the mystical side, can Marvel's nefarious demon be far behind? Biting off more than any of us can chew, at number 3 is Galactus, the World Eater. Galactus is a cosmic energy, a creature of celestial order with an insatiable hunger that only the energy of living planets can quell. Once known as a scientist named Galen of Ta, he was the last survivor of the 6th cosmos. Galen was caught in the death throes of his universe and became one with the sentience of the universe and born into the new universe. Galactus' destruction is without malice or emotion. It is simply a way of nature. His morality is beyond mortal concepts of good and evil, or hunger. To keep his belly full, Galactus employs heralds he imbues with his own energy, the power cosmic, an ancient force of creation itself. The most notable being the Silver Surfer. Each of these heralds is powerful in their own right, capable of incredible feats and doing battle with the likes of the Hulk or Thor, but they hold only a fraction of Galactus' strength. Galactus, as the first living being born into the universe, commands power beyond human comprehension through the energy known as the power cosmic. This manifests in a variety of ways, from force fields and energy blasts to the ability to transmute matter. During the Annihilation War, Galactus single-handedly destroyed half of the Annihilation Wave's forces. Though his planetary hunger makes him a villain to most life in the universe, he is in fact a tool created by the universe itself to balance the cosmic scales between the conceptual entity's eternity, the embodiment of life and death, Thanos and Deadpool's on and off again girlfriend. Galactus made a brief strange appearance in the second Fox Fantastic Four movie, Rise of the Silver Surfer, as a disembodied Cloud. With Marvel's first family set to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's only a matter of time before Galactus, one of Marvel's most iconic villains of all time, makes his first appearance. While Galactus might be a destroyer of worlds, he pales in comparison to the universe destroyers who round out our list. Making interdimensional travel look like a walk in the park, at number 2 are the Beyonders. The Beyonders were a race of interdimensional beings from outside the Marvel multiverse. They consider themselves scientists and view the multiverse as little more than an experiment. In their effort to study the nature of reality, they triggered the collapse of the entire multiverse and a series of collisions between parallel Earths known as incursions. Despite the best efforts of the Illuminati, no one was able to stop the chain reaction the Beyonders started, and all of reality ended in white-hot explosion. Only 3 people survived: Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, and our number 1 reality warping villain, the Molecule Man. Together, Doom and Strange managed to use the Molecule Man as a bomb to destroy the Beyonders. In the ensuing destruction, the 3 combined their powers to form a single planet called Battleworld. This planet was made up of leftover scraps of the multiverse and ruled by Doctor Doom, with the Molecule Man as a sort of living battery. The Beyonders were powerful enough to kill the all-powerful living tribunal in all reality simultaneously. When confronted by a group of powerful Avengers including Thor, Starbrand, and Hyperion, a knockoff Superman, a single Beyonder nearly killed all 3 single-handedly. Eventually, they had pushed their experiments into life as far as they could go and decided to observe what would happen in the destruction and decay. So they built a living bomb, the aforementioned Molecule Man. The Beyonders' physical form seemed to be incomprehensible to the characters in the Marvel Universe. Instead, they spoke from what seemed to be a breach in space. They were, however, capable of creating avatars that held their essence and interacted with mortals. One such interaction allowed an avatar to rip off the limbs of an Asgardian god. Though their power was immense, the Beyonders were not indestructible. By detonating a bomb created from the Molecule Man of many universes, Doctor Doom was able to destroy them, while also bringing the number of universes in the multiverse down from a few hundred to just 12. Oops. Weighing in at number 1 of the greatest threats to the Marvel Universe is the Molecule Man, master of reality. Owen Reese, the Molecule Man, was first introduced as a nuclear lab technician bombarded with radiation that granted him the power to control matter. Over the years, the potential and scope of his powers expanded, allowing him near total control over all reality at a subatomic level. In truth, the Molecule Man was a creation of the aforementioned the Beyonders. They designed the Molecule Man to exist across all reality simultaneously as a living bomb with enough power to destroy whatever universe contained him. Molecule Man exists in every reality at the same time, which also makes him mentally unstable. Molecule Man proved a formidable foe from the beginning, encasing all of Manhattan in a glass dome or even controlling people's minds. But his true purpose and potential was revealed in the reality-destroying event, Secret Wars. Molecule Man hinted at his unlimited potential through his amazing feats, like completely disintegrating the supremely powerful and mentally unstable hero, the Sentry. He was able to both completely destroy and revive an entire town in Colorado, including the people who lived there. When the incursion events began, setting off a chain reaction that threatened the entire multiverse, Doctor Doom was able to use the Molecule Man as a part of his plan to avert reality's complete erasure. By detonating Molecule Man in a massive explosion that destroyed the Beyonders, he accelerated the end of the multiverse and channeled Reese's power. Molecule Man used his control over reality to collect the remnants of the last universe to create a new planet. It was Molecule Man's powers that ultimately kept creation from being completely wiped out. If that's not powerful, I don't know what is. Molecule Man's reality-controlling abilities helped to keep Doom's Battleworld together. But after the remaining survivors of the multiverse defeated Doom and Miles Morales gave him an old cheeseburger, Molecule Man teamed up with Franklin Richards and the Fantastic Four to restore the multiverse. With the multiverse a major plot point in the current phase of the MCU, with the impending introduction of the Fantastic Four and the fact that Molecule Man is one of their classic villains, I wouldn't be surprised to see Owen Reese appear in the future movies in the not-too-distant future. And there you have it, Plot Armor fans, the greatest threats the Marvel Universe has ever faced. We'd love to hear your thoughts about these or any other formidable baddies in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more Plot Armor comics. I'm Morse Code, and thank you for watching.